Is football a dangerous sport? Imagine yourself running into a brick wall over and over and over again. Now ask yourself, is football a dangerous sport? Good morning. My name is Benjamin Adams. The purpose of my speech is to inform my audience about concussions in football. First, I would like to discuss what is a concussion. A concussion is a traumatic brain injury caused by a bump or blow to the head, which can have a lasting effect on a football player for life. There are more than 300,000 football-related concussions reported each year, which means if your son decides to play the game of football, his probability of a concussion is very high. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, signs and symptoms will show up soon after the injury. Symptoms such as headaches, blurred vision, loss of memory, players being disoriented, days are confused, weeks after a devastating hit. Just something to think about. Today, I will be talking to you about how hits to the head affects football players mentally, emotionally, and physically. I will start with how major blows to the head of a player can affect him mentally and cause memory loss. According to CDC, a player suffering from memory loss exhibits signs of challenges in planning or solving problems. Players can't be too effective on the field without these qualities, right? How are you going to run the proper play or the right route if you're having trouble processing information? I've heard stories of players being hit so hard that they become so confused that they didn't recognize themselves or teammates. Wow, something to think about. And also, it lets you know having a concussion is very serious. Now that I have told you about the mental effect of concussions, I will tell you about the emotional effect. According to Jeffrey Barth, a professor of psychology, players with head injury become irritable, depressed, fatigued, and eventually cause them to decline as an athlete. Remember, guys, football is a game of discipline and endurance, which means that your behavior affects the team as a whole. However, concussions can affect the behavior of a player to where it's out of their control. It can cause them to act erratic on the field and also off the field. And if a player is acting erratic on the field, he is no longer reliable as a teammate. There's been studies that show that too many hits to the head can lead to traumatic brain injury, which is known as TBI. Also, medical researchers found that players suffering from injuries to the head can temporarily lose their sight and affect their imbalance. Like I said before, football is a game of agility and balance. Without these two, you would not be effective on the football field as a player. In most cases, irritable behavior that goes untreated leads to alcohol and drugs, so it must be treated immediately. Football players are trained to deal with their emotional pain as well as their physical pain, which leads me to the physical effect of concussions that players have for a lifetime after the game. Just to give you an example, remember Junior Seau, Gary Speed, and most recently, Aaron Hernandez. That's just a few. According to Mayo Clinic, a concussion is when the brain shakes so forcefully that it hits the inside of the skull. Wow. Such force can cause a player to lose consciousness and other symptoms such as dizziness, strength in the muscles, blurred vision, and speech. There have been reports of coaches encouraging players to return to the game after a devastating hit, not really taking the opportunity to examine the players to see if he is all right or is he hurt. Wow, I know you're saying wow, right? I'm sure we've all heard the saying to walk it off. You're going to be all right. I'm a victim of that. I've been told that many times. But listen to this here. Studies have found that mild concussions are temporary, but they have a lasting effect on players' body forever. With that said, with the proper protocol, no coach should be allowed to force a player back onto the football field for the sake of the game. It's not worth it. Just not worth it, guys. In conclusion, a simple hard hit to the head of a football player could affect him mentally, emotionally, and physically forever. Remember that. Throughout the years, I understand medical experts have tried to make this sport safer. but there's more work that needs to be done. With all the upgrades on equipment, still, there's a 3 to 8% of players that sustain concussions. So ask yourself, is football a dangerous sport? I'm just saying. Once again, my name is Benjamin Adams, and this is my informative speech. Thank you.